As you can tell, something's a little different. I'm on Minecraft Online right now. It has been 10 months since my Minecraft Online video. I'm trying to find out. Has anything changed? I want to take a look, so let's take a look. Looks like there's 35 people online. Here I am. I broke a block and it didn't lag back fully. Look at that. That's gonna be some lag right there.
I've not been on here in a while.
Oh, okay. Oh, and it kind of worked. Okay. 2B2T is full. I killed that guy in my last video. Should we kill him? I think we will. 2B2T sucks. Oh, now I feel bad. I guess he stuck around. TPS. Seriously. They've removed that as a thing you can do, so I'll never know what the TPS of this is. This is very sad. We'll go back to spawn. Check that out. Whoa. And we're here. Look, oh, someone's got an elytra and is invisible at spawn. Spawn looks the same. I don't remember that being how it was. This is the 11th year, I'm guessing, yeah? At a first glance, Minecraft Online doesn't seem to have changed all that much. In order to get a more nuanced insight into how the community has reacted to the 1.12 update, I interviewed 4 different Minecraft Online players. So these are the 4 guys I should talk to. Yes, these were the only people I managed to schedule interviews with. Okay, give me the rundown on them. Well, in the lineup here, we've got Salsy1, the man partly responsible for getting Minecraft Online to its current cultural relevance, MrMcBricks, an ex-Minecraft Online moderator, free 1.12 player, and holds the very prestigious position of mayor in town Atria. Beeraeka, a current Minecraft Online moderator, as well as the Chief Justice of Beeraeka and Chief Editor at the Beeraeka Post. And lastly, we have For Unto Christ, who is a gamer and a Minecraft Online moderator. He also has his own series of interviews with people from Minecraft Online. Well, that sounds like a quality lineup of people. I'm glad I hired you to do this. What? You never hired me to do anything. I'm a character in a bit you're doing for a video. Was that a little loud? I feel like it was a little loud. This is just like the little space in between loud thunder and my interview, which I was thinking would be a little bit shocking to switch immediately from that to my interview. Which version of Minecraft do you prefer the server being on? 1.7 or 1.12?
For a while, it was kind of cool to actually join a server on 1.7.10.
Yeah.
Because 1.7.10 is actually one of my favorite versions of the game. But if I had to prefer, I mean, obviously 1.12.
For the whole, probably 1.12. Because I guess you could say that this was more of a factor of like the update as a whole. That's a lot less laggy. I think they switched to Sponge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably the main reason it's a lot less laggy.
1.12, I think, because it's newer, it's less laggy. But 1.7, I have a soft spot for 1.7 basically.
Definitely 1.12. Like, they have their pros and cons. 1.12 is the server is way less laggy, and there's a lot more stuff you could do, given it's 1.12. I say the only good thing about 1.7 was it was not on the same version as 2B2T. A lot of Anarchy servers that try to clone 2B2T, they would be set to 1.12, and on 1.7, it would be like, oh, that's too far back, or I can't find any hack clients for it. So you would see a lot less cheating and a lot less griefing.
In your opinion, how well was the transition from 1.7.10 to 1.12.2 handled?
Well, first thing I'm going to say about that is they took too damn long. When did 1.7 come out? 2013. And they updated. They updated to 1.12.2 in 2021. That's 8 years. That's crazy.
That is a long
And
time.
why 1.12? They should have upgraded to something more modern. Like, what? What's the thinking behind that? I mean, that leads me to believe that they're going to stay on 1.12 for as long, if not longer.
1.12 forever. Let's go.
Gosh.
When we were updating, like very near the end, that's when I got promoted, and I always asked if we could open up the test server for people, because for the public, because even just for like a few days every week, maybe, just because the community didn't believe anything was going on. Obviously, by that time I did know because I was on the test server as a mod, but because it was only staff allowed on there. And I always, whenever we had like meetings regarding the server, like the staff, I'd always try and push that. It never happened. Don't mean to, be gonna act like I know best, but I think it would have helped if there was more direct showing it's actually being made to the community. Because until it was right near the end, no one thought it was actually coming. Literally no one. So out on the whole, mostly handled well, but they definitely had a few errors along the way, I'd say.
In terms of it being handled pretty nicely, there were a lot of behind-the-scene testing. Yeah, it couldn't have been any better, I think.
I'd say it was pretty cool. There was the Infection event, or the Insurrection. That was pretty cool. One drawback to when they updated was the control panel. That was knocked offline because it was made for 1.7.10, not 1.12.2. So almost everything about it broke.
What's the control panel?
So basically, if you were logged into your accounts from the website, because you could register your account with your email in-game, then you could log into it on the website, you'll have access to the control panel. It was this neat little feature to where you could click on anybody's profile if they're online and stuff. You'll be able to see, of course, their username, their skin's face, their first join date, their last join date, their reputation, and their friends, which there's a feature on here. If you do /friends, you could add people to your friends list. You could save your public aliases, such as if you had a town, you could do a /save alias, type in the coordinates and stuff, and it will put it on your control panel profile. It was cool. It is coming back, though. The admin Tech Kid 6 has been working on it, and it is coming back better than ever. I could guarantee that. It's just, I hope he does it faster, because I cannot wait. I'm impatient.
What are some drawbacks to being on 1.12?
It was really confusing seeing the server on 1.7.10 for so long upgrade to 1.12. I understand the thinking behind it, but it doesn't feel like even much of an update because it's 2021. I mean, we should be at the time we should be on 1.17 or at least 1.16.
Yeah.
What gives? Why this old version? So here's the thing that bothers me the most. Back then, they used to run something called Canary. So that was their bucket, their craft bucket or spigot or whatever that runs all their plugins. And in 1.12, they converted over to something called Sponge, which is basically it. As far as I understand, it's extended support of Canary. I could be wrong, but that's as far as I know. They still had to convert a lot of their old plugins to work with Sponge, and then they also, even still today, a lot of their stuff did not convert over properly and still doesn't work.
Like what?
They used to have this integration on their website with the wiki and statistics, and you can look up player stats on their website, but that's been broken ever since they upgraded to 1.12.
I see.
And a few other nitpicky things, I believe, have also broken and were never fixed. But it's okay, why go through all this work trying to upgrade all these old plugins to a outdated and inefficient plugin engine when you can just transfer everything over to something more modern like Spigot or Paper that runs so much better? Why did you not do that? I understand it's a lot of work on the programmers, but this is your chance to do it. It's you're gonna have to do it at some point because Sponge is so it's used very rarely on servers, and it's not used for a very good reason. It's because it sucks. It's slow. Look at the server now. I mean, there's 20 or 30 players. The server's at like 2 TPS. And on top of that, so whenever the world backs up, the server freezes and usually kicks everyone offline. And this happens constantly. It's like, we know what the issue is. Let's transfer everything over. And like I said, I know it's a hassle for the programmers that are behind the scenes, but it's not a matter of, should we do this? It's a matter of, you need to do this. Otherwise, so literally this lag, these issues with the server are holding the server back. The server could have 200 players online, but it can't. The server itself can't. I mean, I will go, it is so bad. Even the server hardware, I mean, they converted over from hard drives to SSDs as late as 2020. That's when they converted to SSDs. Yes, look it up. It's on the wiki.
It's
like, what?
Really late.
So, and they're running like a 4th gen equivalent i7. I think they're like running some very old Xeon processor right now. Like, I swear to God, I mark my words here. I will donate them computer hardware. I will donate them a Ryzen. But the issue is, if I make that donation to the server, will the server owner actually use, will he actually use that hardware I gave him? Like, will he, put in that effort to transfer over that stuff to that new hardware? I'm not joking. Mark my words. I will. If I knew that he was going to use the server hardware, $1,500 worth of hardware that I would like to donate to them. If I knew that he was going to use that, I would do it. And if I knew for sure that it would help the server, because I'm not sure exactly if it would, but as far as I know, a Xeon processor from 7 years ago is probably not very good for running a modern Minecraft server.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't sound good. Like a perfect timing. I think the server went down. I think it crashed.
This happens all the time. All the time. And the thing is, the players that come back are some of the hardiest Minecraft players I know of. They're hardier than 2B2T players, because 2B2T actually runs properly now.
I guess the Elytra, like flying around Elytra, has and like loads of chunks loading. I think that's caused a bit of lag, but I haven't actually been with 1.12 that much, because when I left, I was inactive as hell, and at the time they would kick mods if they were inactive. They don't do that anymore, but I didn't want to be kicked, so I thought I'd just leave myself. But yeah, I haven't played since then, so I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
Drawbacks in terms of, well, obviously we're not on the latest version, but compared to 1.7, I don't think there's a drawback, in my opinion.
Oh, definite drawbacks. Would be we are on the same version as 2B2T and many other Anarchy servers. The control panel is disabled because it is not compatible with 1.12.2, and I miss the old visitor center. I'm not too much of a fan of this nether brick new one right here, but that's just my opinion, that last one.
What are some positives to the server updating?
Well, it's newer than 1.7.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, I mean, you get newer features.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, there's no more positives. Because the rest are drawbacks. The server is slower than it was. Actually, I think it's about the same when 1.7 was running. I mean, it was really bad, even on 1.7. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the other thing is they improved block placing and removing.
Yeah.
Except it's still not perfect. 2B2T does a much better job with it. I use efficiency 5 on a shovel. I get ghost blocks constantly on MinecraftOnline still, even after those changes. When Housemaster figured out how to completely eliminate that issue on 2B2T. It's not an issue.
Oh,
and they're on the same
really
version.
Nice.
other than it being a newer version with newer features, it's which it's better than 1. Like if I had to make a decision on whether the server should be on 1.7.10 and 1.12, I would obviously choose 1.12 just because it's a newer version.
Mm-hmm.
So at least it's not on 1.7 anymore. I mean, that's just the very, very minimum.
The Elytra is so fun. It's so fun to fly on the Elytra in this version. Ever since we got told that we were updating, I was like, that's what I was looking forward to, flying around Spawn with the Elytra. I mean, obviously with the lag, it's not as fun as you'd imagine, but I can confirm that flying around Spawn with the Elytra was about as good as I imagined. That's probably my favourite thing of this update. New blocks is cool, expanded map was cool, but again, that wasn't really because of the update, that was just the server staff doing something for once. That's probably my favourite thing with 1.12.
Well, obviously, it's a lot less laggy.
There is definitely less lag. There are way more blocks, way more ways we could build. We could use newer things. We're not stuck in 2014. We're now stuck in 2017.
What are the chances the server updates again?
Minimal. I have complained about it so much, and so many other players have complained about it, and I am not exactly sure what's holding them back. I mean, I've been explained to like, oh, it's the plugins, it's the software, that extra software, and it's just a mishmash of different programming languages and all that, and updating and converting that over to something more modern. But I make the argument that you had the opportunity to do it. I mean, the server was on the same version for 8 years. How is that not enough time to modernize this stuff? I mean, like, what? I just don't get it. 8 years. It's just this. It's like they're running out of excuses. There's no more excuses. I mean, they had their chance. Now, yeah, that's as far as I'll go for now.
Likely, but not in the near future. Maybe within the next 3 years, I can see it updating. But considering it took, 7 for it to update, I think now we're on a new API, I think it will probably be a lot easier in the future. So, I say within the next 3 or 4 years, we'll update.
Well, it's definitely not going to take years like when it did from 1.7 to 1.12. Well, I've heard them say that it's easier to upgrade from 1.12 to maybe 1.17 or something. I think it's going to be within this year probably, or I mean, don't quote me on that. That's my opinion, but yeah, it's probably this year or next year, I think. Maybe even months, even.
Oh, actually pretty high. We could, I could definitely guarantee you it's not going to take 7 years like it did last time. Essentially, we're waiting for Sponge to release a official recommended version, which they have not done since 1.12. But recently, probably like a day or two ago, they did release a recommended version of Sponge.
In what way has the 1.12 update helped you do your duties as a Minecraft Online moderator?
Less laggy, easier to play in general, and to moderate. Yeah.
I was promoted to mod after the update to 1.12, although from what I hear from other moderators, it is a lot easier to swiftly deal with the situation rather than waiting for the server to stop having a stroke, because that does happen when if a moderator teleports to you, sometimes it does cause a little lag spike, especially back in 1.7. Yeah, I don't know. It's not really something I'm qualified to answer.
How have you incorporated the new 1.12 features into your gameplay style?
Well, Quartz. When was Quartz added? 1.6. So I don't know if that's. So I don't know. I have Quartz in my museum, and where have I used other blocks? I mean, I don't really use many of the new blocks. And it's funny to even call 1.12 blocks new blocks anymore. It's been on, version's been around for so long now. I don't know. I don't really think about it too much in terms of the newer blocks. Usually I just use the older blocks that I'm familiar with. That's just kind of my building style. So wood, stone, that kind of thing.
I don't think anything has changed since the update in terms of my gameplay style, because I don't really do anything on the server except running around and exploring. I use Elytras now, so pretty neat. I can pretend like I'm Batman or something.
Batman.
One 1.12 feature I definitely love is the less lag, if that is a feature. Elytras. Of when the TPS is high, Elytras work great, and it's really cool flying above, like spawn in Fredonia. It's an Elytra. It's nice to see it from an aerial view that is not a map or from the skyways that we're all used to walking along and seeing, because then it's kind of like you get a perspective from almost anywhere in the sky of the map. It's Elytras. Elytras are really great. That's what I'm trying to say.
Aesthetically, which do you prefer, 1.7 or 1.12?
Well, they both look pretty similar. If you convert a 1.7 world to a 1.12, it's going to look the same. You're talking about just like overall, like the newer blocks compared to like the older blocks.
Yeah, kind of. Like when you build something in 1.12, usually the style is different than like 1.7, right?
Yeah, it definitely would be slightly. Which one do I prefer? Well, 1.12 does give you more, opportunity with different blocks. As much as I love 1.7.10, I mean 1.12 does have a lot more blocks. So I may just actually have to prefer 1.12, just for that reason.
Alrighty.
1.12, I think, because there's a lot more block variety. Despite the fact it was a pretty small update, it was like the World of Color update, right? They added parrots and stuff. It was mainly just like a little mini update, but they
Didn't
added
they
blocks
update
and
the?
stuff
Oh no,
like
the
that.
end was 1.9.
Yeah, the end and Elytra in that were 1.9. 1.12 was like parrots and like there's a little
Concrete.
miscellaneous. Yeah, like just little. It was more of a building update, which definitely helps in its favor because it's more variety in building. But I've definitely you can tell when something was built in 1.7 and something was built in 1.12. That's the best way I can put it.
I think, with 1.12 probably, I would say, has better as aesthetics just because it has more blocks, with that more colors.
Given the server is very history orientated, I would say 1.7 aesthetically kept a lot of builds like this. Kind of keeps it like the 2011 style builds, like early Minecraft from the early 2010s and stuff. It kept a lot of the builds like this. 1.12, it kind of brought Minecraft to the new era of Minecraft servers, of where a lot of things are becoming more automated. There's a lot more new blocks. There's even new biomes because we expanded our map. We could actually visit like new biomes, get granite without having to craft it for the first time too.
You could craft granite?
I don't know the crafting recipe, but I know you could craft granite.
What build on the server that you've seen uses the 1.12 blocks the best?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. I've been focused on my town so much that I haven't really. Oh, I mean, there is the warp farm. That's a brand new build. A brand new warp 2. I'm not sure if there's any 1.12 stuff, but it's like apparently this farm is like massive and it's a big deal when when the warp was created for it. So that's one thing that I know of.
There's a clear difference between the build style of 1.12 and of 1.7. There's also, a lot of different players. Like I'd say in the 1.7 era, there was more of a focus on like big grand builds. But recently, in the time I have been here, I've noticed there's definitely a lot of smaller projects these days, which is pretty cool.
It's probably Uncle Jenny's the club, which is you need an elytra to access it. So it's pretty cool. It's floating hexagon, probably.
Floating
Pretty
hexagon?
nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
really nice. It's built in 1.7, waiting for 1.12 to happen.
They definitely have a lot more. I don't know how to say it. Like a lot more going on with them. They have more blocks in them. They have more shapes with them. Let me show you a good example. I'll teleport you to me. So here's a good example of a 1.12 build. They are utilizing the end rods that were added. A lot of concrete.
If you could change one thing about Minecraft Online, what would it be?
One thing.
Just one thing. It could be anything. It could have something to do with the past, the present, the future, anything. But it's only one.
So if it's one thing, that means I have to decide between two things. Upgrading to the latest version of Minecraft and fixing the lag. I feel like if they fix the lag and we're stuck on 1.12.2, that's going to be pretty miserable. But if we have the same amount of lag and we upgrade to 1.18, I think that would be so much better. If like the lag is like the same, I honestly think that would be better. If they did that,
Okay.
it would suck still, but oh my gosh, being on 1.18 would be like night and day.
That's quite a big question. The rules. I'd make it. There's bigger issues I have. I can't be able to get into them, so I'll just say the rules. I think there just needs to be way more relaxed things with the rules. I think that's probably the biggest. From an outsider looking in, that's probably what their biggest issue with the server would be, and I can't help but agree. There definitely needs to be way more, or way less strict enforcement of the rules here, I'd say. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I want to change.
I would give myself bedrock and 2 dots of diamond blocks.
That's the only change that needs to happen in Minecraft Online.
Yeah,
in your
yeah,
opinion?
definitely. Yeah.
If you could change one thing about Minecraft Online, what would it be?
I would definitely like slow riots to be more active. I would like to see a lot more things being done with the server, like more events. I'm pretty sure if the admins were able to get paid to do stuff on the server, there would be many like well configured events. No, I just think a more slow rate being more active, and if the admins were able to like get paid to work on the server, I think that would be cool. But they all volunteer. We're all volunteers here.
And that concludes the interviews. So overall, the reception to the 1.12 update has been mostly positive. Everyone seems to be happy that the server is no longer on 1.7. I would like to thank MrMcBricks for contributing questions for my interviews, as well as everyone who agreed to partake in an interview. This video ended up being a lot longer than I intended, but I think overall it was worth it. I hope you enjoyed watching, and goodbye.